Yo, yo, it's going down, man. We back at it, man. We back at it. The 1 year anniversary of Ryan Garcia smoking Devin Haney pack, man. 420, man. What a beautiful day. What a beautiful day. You gotta love this. Gotta love it. And so Sunday morning show, man, we gonna try to make this show real quick, even though I got several topics to go over. We gonna recap Gabriela Fundora versus Marilyn Badillo. That fight from last night, which was crazy. And we're gonna recap Charles Conwell as well, fighting last night against Jorge Perez. That was a crazy fight last night. Those are the two fights that um, I I covered and watched last night, so we back at it, and got several other topics to go over as well, man. So I know I'm gonna try to go over these topics fast today. We're going so everybody can enjoy their Easter, man. Happy Easter to everyone as well. Um, and trying to think of what else. Yeah, we got a lot of content to talk about real quick, man. So we definitely gonna run through this. I know my boy Knockout Boxing and KQKC, they'll be live at 10 today. So we gonna try to run through this content real quick. You feel me? So let's get to it, man. All right, so I'm turn the camera on there. All right. So back at it, man. So sorry, but not sorry. Boxing talk, man. We back at it, man. 1 year anniversary of Ryan Garcia smoking Devin Haney pack, man. So we smoking big Devin Haney pack today. All right, man. So let's kind of get to the business, man. Let's get to the first subject at hand. Um, let's go. Where do I want to start at? All right, so we just talked about the fights from last night. That's what we'll start with, and then we'll go into. All right, so last night Charles Conwell fought Jorge Perez last night in a hard fought fight in the 154-pound division last night, and salute to both of them guys. It was definitely a brawl. Um, Jorge Perez ended up getting the upset over Charles Conwell last night by a majority decision. And crazy part there, if you look at the punch stats from this fight between Charles Conwell and Jorge Perez, the punch stats was almost even. But if you watch the actual fight, it didn't look like what the punch stats detected in the fight, in the actual fight, you feel me? So with the actual fight, I felt like Jorge Perez, he controlled a lot of the fight. Fought well on the outside and the inside, majority on the inside, honestly. And he just controlled the pace of the fight throughout the whole time. Charles Conwell really didn't he did some good work. He won some rounds. I mean, I didn't score this fight last night. Honestly, I was just a fan just watching it because this was just a great fight last night from both of these guys. Both of these guys was going back and forth. But Jorge Perez, he just really controlled the pace. Um he was hitting Charles Conwell with devastating body shots throughout this whole entire fight last night. Conwell, it just looked like Charles Conwell just didn't get in a good rhythm at all throughout this whole entire fight, for real, honestly, man. And it was just hard for Charles Conwell to, you know, get ahead of this fight. As you listen in the corner towards the end of the fight, towards the championship rounds, his corner is telling Charles Conwell like, "Yo, you gotta stop him." You basically got to stop him to win this fight. You're down on the cards. And Charles Conwell, he didn't really shoot for the fences in the championship rounds, to knock Jorge Perez out, in which that's what he definitely needed to win the fight. Because I felt like he definitely was losing the fight clear. Like he wasn't winning, you know, them early rounds and the middle rounds. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like Charles kind of came on towards the later, half of the fight, winning a couple of rounds. But, Jorge Perez, for real, honestly, them scoring this as a majority decision, I felt like that was wrong, honestly. I felt like Jorge, he won this fight clear to me. Like clear. This should have been what's the name? This should have been a unanimous decision last night instead of a more majority decision. Honestly, I ain't gonna lie. Charles Conwell, love the guy. Cleveland, Ohio guy. Of course, you already know I'm Cincinnati, Ohio guy, so I'm big on Ohio guys. And Charles Conwell just didn't get the job done last night, man. He put on a lackluster performance last night, and that lackluster performance got him beat easily last night, just easily. And I don't know what happens for Charles Conwell from here. Like, no, what's the move for Charles Conwell from here? I don't know. I honestly don't know. Um, I mean, he was contender. He was like in the top three in two sanctioning bodies. You know what I mean? And losing that fight last night, that puts you back down on in the rankings, man. Maybe you might be out. You might be out. They probably won't push him back out, out of the top 15, but no, he'll be back down on the rankings. Now he got to work himself back up. And it was so crazy because Charles Conwell, he's worked very hard to get himself up in these rankings, fighting fighting other contenders, fighting some fights that he didn't want to fight, in particular. You know what I'm saying? Charles Conwell's been calling out a lot of the names at 154 and everything, but him losing this fight last night lose all of the opportunities that he had ahead of him right there. And it was looking like Golden Boy and Oscar, they were making some plans for Charles Conwell, to try to, put him in position to fight, for a title soon at 154. And that loss last night to Jorge Perez, nasty work. Nasty work. Now you just put Jorge Perez in position at 154 now. Now he's a player in 154 after upsetting you last night. You know what I'm saying? Me personally, Charles Conwell, I ain't gonna lie. He should be pushing to get that rematch. He should be pushing to get that rematch immediately with Jorge Perez and try to right that wrong. But honestly, Jorge Perez, their team, I think they feel like they won very clear to where they're not going to take a rematch probably with Charles Conwell. You know what I'm saying? Because I felt like Jorge Perez really like dominated the fight. I ain't gonna lie, he dominated the fight last night, man. Charles Conwell, I mean, he was trying to fight through it, but he, I think Jorge Perez, his height and his reach, and he had great hand speed too, fast hand speed. He was catching Charles Conwell off guard with his hand speed last night too. No, switching up the pace far as when he picked, far as when he's picking his shots last night with Charles Conwell. Charles Conwell just had a bad night in the office, but he picked the wrong night to have a bad night at the office. You know what I'm saying? Because unfortunately, that led to Charles Conwell losing last night, man. But salute to Jorge Perez on the win, winning by majority the decision last night over Charles Conwell. Salute to Charles Conwell from Ohio. Ohio stand up. Hopefully he ends up getting back, up top in the rankings, man, soon. Hopefully he can work himself, get back in the rankings, man. But it's definitely gonna be hard for sure because it was hard to even get him up top in the rankings at 154. A lot of these guys at 154 wasn't willing to give Charles Conwell a shot at the titles, recently. But now that's all over right now for the time being. Now you got to work yourself back up. But salute to both of those guys, man. Great fight last night. Great fight. That was a banger. And the main event fight from last night in California on the Golden Boy card was Gabriela Fundora versus Marilyn Badillo. And ain't too much to really say about this fight, man. I knew how this fight was going to go, honestly, before it even started. Honestly, if you seen these two girls at the weigh-in the other day, just seeing Gabriela's height over Marilyn Badillo, like you would have been like, oh yeah, we know what's gonna happen. And by the way, let me mention Charles Conwell. You messed up my predictions last night, dog. I'm sorry at it, but it is what it is. Salute to Perez and Conwell. But back to Fundora and Badillo. Fundora. Yeah, like I said, if you seen the weigh in and just seen both of these girls, you like, man, we know what's about to happen. This girl, Gabriela Fundora, is literally for real the female Sebastian Fundora for real. Tall, powerful, you know, and very confident in the ring and stuff. Confident about her style. You know what I'm saying? She's confident of beating any girl that she steps in the ring with. And you just seen that glowing confidence throughout the week between Gabriela Fandora on the fight with her and Marilyn Badillo. And just looking at the fight in particular last night, Gabriela Fandora, she pitched the shutout. She won every round. She won every round. The girl Badillo, she had some fight in her where like she was no, she was trying to like she was so short. She was you know, trying to get on the inside, try to take some to get some, and it just didn't bode well with her for Badia because Fandora, she was countering her very well. Her footwork was on point, and she was picking her shots very well last night on Badillo, man. And she put a beat down on that girl to where she ended up stopping Badillo in the seventh round last night, man. And clear shutout even before the stoppage. But Gabriela Frondor, she's a monster, man. Undisputed at you know the flyweight division for the women's, and she's doing her thing, man. I don't know what's up, what's next for her, like for real. Like I don't know who else is up in other weight classes in the women's division, and particular. But that girl coming up there, man, and she's a star in women's boxing right now, man. That was her first main event last night, and she put on a great performance last night. Amazing performance. Definitely looked similar to her brother Sebastian Fundora for sure. I picked her to get the stoppage last night, and she got the stoppage, man. So salute to Gabriela Fundora last night and on that fight last night. And let's get to some of these real topics, man. So we got our recap of the fights out of the way today. Ben Whitaker and Leon Cameron rematches today. Is later on in the day. They're fighting in London, so it's gonna be some during the day shit where it'll probably be on during the day. I don't know what exact time in particular, but I will be watching that fight, and I'll do a recap of that fight tomorrow or later on tonight where I'll drop the video for it. I probably won't go live for it. But all right, let's get to some of these real topics, bro, for real. So all right, let me mention this because this was breaking news late last night, man. So late last night, man, Ring Magazine, they dropped some real intriguing news last night. Um, Basically saying that they got the Ring Magazine 3 card taking place in New York. Obviously, Shakur Stevenson versus William Zepeda. They are locked for this card in July 12th. And they mentioned the other guys that's on the card as well last night. Um, Edgar Berlanga versus Hamza Shiraz is the co-main event for this card. Co-main event. Edgar Berlanga versus Hamza Shiraz. I like this fight. I ain't gonna lie. I like this fight. Shiraz coming off a draw in a championship fight with Carlos Adames a couple of months ago. And you got Edgar Berlanga just coming off his first round knockout against a guy that worked at the M&M factory. You know what I'm saying? But I like this fight in particular. You got Edgar Berlanga. He's 23-1. with 18 knockouts, and Hamza Shiraz, he's 21-0-1 with 17 knockouts. This is going to be a big fight for the 168-pound division. Remember, Hamza Shiraz, he was fighting at 160 in that last fight with Carlos Adames, so he just moved up from 160 to 168 now. So now he's campaigning at 168 now, and I like them putting this fight together because this gives Edgar Berlanga a chance to get him a name in the 168 division immediately. With Shiraz moving up to 168. And this is a good test for Shiraz, being his first fight at 168, you know what I'm saying? Fighting Edgar Berlanga. Um the style matchup, this bodes for a banger. This bodes for a banger. I ain't gonna lie. I'm putting this fight in particular, Edgar Berlanga versus Hamza Shiraz. I'm putting this fight in particular on Cam J banger alert. This is a banger alert. I think this fight is gonna be a banger. You know what I mean? Now, I'm not giving no predictions for this fight because it's too early. You know what I'm saying? But we will be talking about this fight a lot leading up, you know what I'm saying? Till July 12th, you know what I mean? But I like this card, what they doing, man, and they got more fights on this card that I'm about to announce as well. Alberto Puello versus Sabril Matias is on this July 12th Ring Magazine 3 card as well. Um, Crazy, man, because this was my thoughts. I was hearing that Alberto Puello was going to end up probably unifying up fighting Gary Anton Russell, possibly on the Tank Roach rematch card. That's what the rumors was circling around. But to see it come full circle where you see Alberto Puello fighting Sabril Matias now, that was a crazy style switch up that I didn't even see coming. Didn't even see it coming. And I guess Sabril Matias, he's ranked in the WBC at 140, so that's why he's contending for Puello's title. But for whoever put this together, where you want to say it's Turkey, you know what I'm saying, pretty much because this is a Ring Magazine card. Um, bro, like hey, salute, salute, salute for this fight. I ain't gonna lie, this fight is fire. I like Sabril Matias in this fight, far as his style fighting with Puello. This bodes for a banger. Matias is going to make Puello fight a little bit more. Even though Puello, he's game. He'll bang with you. You know what I'm saying? He's more of a technical boxer, but he will bang with you. He will stand in the inside and bang with you. So this fight, both of these guys are tall guys, probably similar height, probably close around the same height. This bodes for a banger right here. I ain't gonna lie. They own us something with this card. This card, I was saying this when they announced Shakur a couple days ago, and on Winners to Pay the Lock. I was like, man, how this card gonna bold for real? Like, you feel me? Like, is this card gonna, how the undercard gonna look? Like, who they gonna put on the undercard? But they putting together some fire, man. Shit, Edgar Berlanga versus Hamza Shiraz. That should be a good fight. And Alberto Puello versus Sabril Matias. That should be a good fight. And as well, they got the fourth fight. They got four fights on the card already locked. And the fourth fight is David Morrell versus Amon Kata. Kativ. I'm gonna just say Amon Kativ. I'm gonna just name him that. Amon Kativ. But this fight is a dangerous fight at 175 for David Morrell right here because this guy, Amon Kativ, he's 10-0 with 9 knockouts. So he got some power. So this ain't no pushover fight for David Morrell. Especially him coming off, his loss with David Benavidez early this year in February. Um, this is a bang. This gonna be another banger too. This is gonna be another banger. Like, and notice, let me add this in there too. If you notice, by the four fights that's on this card right here, um, two of the fights got PBC guys on there. Alberto Puello, he's a PBC guy. David Morrell, he's a PBC guy. Recently we seen pictures with Turkey Sheik, with Luis the Cubans Jr. um and Oscar De La Hoya, to where they said they got some stuff in the works, and now that we see what they got in the works, Alberto Puello over there fighting Sabril Matias on July 12th, along with David Morrell fighting Amon Khatib on July 12th as well, man. So excited about these four fights on this card. Obviously, Shakur Stevenson and William Zepeda, they are the main event on this card. But I'm gonna run down this card once again, real quick. Shakur Stevenson versus William Zepeda is the main event for July 12th. Ring Magazine third card. Edgar Berlanga versus Hamza Shiraz is the co-main event, and you got Alberto Puello versus Sabril Matias, and you have David Morrell versus Amon Khatib as well, probably starting off the night for the main card. So great card for the Ring Magazine for the third card. This fight's going to be in New York, obviously, July 12th, and I like the card. I like the card, man. I like the card. I ain't gonna lie. I definitely like the card for sure, man. And salute to them guys for putting on. Salute to them putting on this card. All right. So in other news, okay, where do I want to go? All right, so Keyshawn Davis, of course, the other day he was he had interviews the other day. He had his press conference for his Edwin De Los Santos fight. So they were interviewing Keyshawn Davis awfully a lot, from different medias and everything. And Keyshawn Davis, he got asked about Tank Davis, obviously. And Keyshawn Davis said that he wants to fight the winner of the Tank Davis and Lamont Roach rematch. And just look at it, man. Look at it. I ain't gonna lie. I like hearing this from Keyshawn. I ain't gonna lie. I like hearing this from Keyshawn as far as him saying that he wants to fight the winner. Because I feel like that's what he should be doing. You know what I'm saying? He's fighting a step up fight for his career, honestly, for as Edwin De Los Santos, even though there's a lot of talks about Edwin De Los Santos. People saying that Edwin De Los Santos, he's been inactive. He ain't he had blood clot issues recently. Issues recently, and he had an arm injury as well. So inactivity, blood clot issues, arm injury, and everything. A lot of people's believing that this is a cherry pick fight for Keyshawn Davis, and me, my personal opinion, I don't want to call this fight a cherry pick fight for him. I don't want to call it that, but I can't be naive to how Top Rank move. You know what I'm saying? Like Top Rank, they're infamous on their matchmaking, and like I said the other day, speaking about Keyshawn Davis and Abdullah Mason on the same card together. You know what I'm saying? And they're fighting two of Shakur Stevenson former ops that he had bad performances with. You know what I mean? I was like, hey, Keyshawn fighting daggone Edwin, you know what I'm saying? It's just business at the end of the day. I understand the business. Top Rank has the best matchmaking in boxing. So them putting this together, definitely not surprised. And they're trying to embarrass and shit on Shakur Stevenson. That's what the pretty just of it. That's what Top Rankers know. That's how they're doing. That's how they look at it. Even though, I've seen, you know, top rank executives being like, oh, they ain't about trying to mess up with Shakur and stuff, and then they gave Shakur excuses for Shakur and stuff on the Edwin fight and all of that. No, we don't want to hear all of that shit. We know what happened, nigga, and we know what y'all doing. Y'all trying to embarrass Shakur with having Edwin and Jeremiah Nakathila on this card fighting Keyshawn Davis and Abdullah Mason. And y'all, cause y'all know y'all know what them boys gonna do to them boys. Y'all know. You know what I'm saying? But I believe Keyshawn and Edwin should be a good fight, man. Hopefully, man. I really hope it's a good fight. I hope Edwin is game for the fight. I will say that for sure. But back to the topic at hand. Keyshawn Davis says that he wants to fight the winner of Lamont Roach and Tank Davis rematch, and I love it. I love it because I mean, obviously, this is something that my boy Knockout Boxing 86 TV he reported a couple weeks ago, a little bit after the Tank Davis and Lamont Roach fight, where he was saying that he got word that Tank was going to call out Keyshawn Davis, and it leads to this topic right here. I like Keyshawn saying that he wants the winner because Tank already done reached out to Keyshawn about fighting last year. Keyshawn was on ESPN mentioning it, saying that, Tank Davis and PBC, they done reached out to me about fighting and stuff. So, and then, of course, Keyshawn, he's been going on his little interview tours and stuff, saying that Tank don't want to fight him and stuff like that. But the other day, he was in a different little of a set of mind, where he was in a decent, good, mindset the other day, to where, he comes out and says that he wants to fight the winner, which is, that's what he's supposed to say. That's what he's supposed to say. And you got to think about the history with PBC and Top Rank right now. They're working very close together right now with a lot of fights. This is a fight that they've talked about, behind the scenes on working on. So you can possibly see, if Keyshawn gets through Edwin and Tank gets through Lamont on in that rematch, you can see a unification fight possibly in the future. Maybe end of this year or early 2026 with Tank Davis and Keyshawn Davis possibly. That's what it's looking like. That everything is leading up to right now, honestly. And I know the other day I spoke about Keyshawn and Abdullah, but that situation with Keyshawn and Abdullah probably won't come about till like next year. So they ain't nothing right now in particular. But Top Rank, they're looking at it in a way that we're like, oh, we're building Abdullah up to where he gonna be fighting for that WBC or WBO strap, one of them straps soon. And we know who got them straps. Of course, Stevenson got the WBC, and Keyshawn Davis got the WBO. So, but back to what I was saying, for as Tank and Keyshawn, I think with both of them having fights in the summer, Keyshawn's fighting June 7th, Tank possibly fighting June 21st, and I'm gonna talk about that in a second. Both of these guys having fights in the summer can set these guys up to fight towards the end of the year or early 2026. And I want to see the fight for sure. I want to see Tank get all of his top ops out of the way. And Keyshawn is a top op, especially because he got one of them titles at 135. You know what I mean? And a lot of fans, they consider Keyshawn Davis as a threat to Tank Davis right now, especially after Tank Davis, lackluster performance with Lamar Roach. So we shall see. But I will say this. Keyshawn Davis get through Edwin, Tank Davis get through Lamont Roach in the rematch. Top ranked PBC, put the fight on. Put it on. And you look at Keyshawn right now. Keyshawn, he trying to outdo Shakur in every way. He ain't going to admit it in public. But since he like, shit, we ain't fighting, but I'm going to outdo you in every way. You know what I'm saying? For as, getting these big fights, getting the fights that I want. The bag, me main event on Top Rank, like he outshining Shakur right now in every way, man. The performances as well, like he having great performances, better performances than Shakur Stevenson. You know what I'm saying? So, but I'm looking forward to this, and this brings me to the topic of Tank Davis and Lamont Roach. Right now, I'm hearing that the rematch possibly may get pushed back to July or August. It's not for sure, 100%. But I've heard as well that you should have an announcement this week on the fight this next week. And salute the Knockout Boxing 86 TV. I'm getting this from him, by the way. He mentioned that his source told him that they should be getting an announcement on the Tank Roach rematch this upcoming week. And but then you got some people out here saying that the fight may get pushed back to July, August. But the main thing is the fight ain't off. That the fight is locked between Tank Davis and Lamont Roach Jr. and they will be fighting in the summer regardless. Now I know my thing is I know Knockout mentioned this as well, which is I totally 100% agree with him. I think they definitely I want Tank to fight June July so that he could be able to fight another time on the back half of the year. Um, but regardless, we getting the fight with Tank Davis and Lamont Roach in the rematch, man, and I'm excited about it, and I can't wait for it, and I can't wait for to see Tank Davis know what he intends to do in this fight. You know what I mean? Got to prove a lot of people wrong because a lot of people doubt you and think that you ain't that guy. You ain't one of those elite guys in boxing right now. A lot of people slouching you, playing you cock, saying that you a bum and saying you trash and saying that you always fought this way and that you was always the same fighter and that you weren't never good and stuff. A lot of people throwing a lot of crazy dirt on Tank Davis' name, which is they already was beforehand, but even after this performance in particular, they really going crazy. And Tank Davis, he has to be the one to change that narrative by beating Lamont Roach in this rematch. You know what I mean? And Lamont Roach, he got to prove that, you know, his first performance wasn't a fluke. You know what I'm saying? So a lot of proof from both guys in this fight from what I said before. But Tank Davis versus Lamont Roach might get an announcement this week, or it may get pushed back to July, August. Whatever happens, you already know we will come on the channel and we will announce it and speak about it for sure, for sure. But salute to both of those guys, Tank Davis and Lamont Roach, on their upcoming rematch this summer. And brings me into other news I wanted to talk about real quick. Um, Kid Austin, man. So I seen something real interesting from Kid Austin. So Kid Austin was doing an interview the other day, and Kid Austin, he said he was talking about Abdullah Mason, and he mentions Abdullah Mason saying that Abdullah Mason hasn't been tested. He got hit on his chin and got dropped before. He's still a prospect, and I'm a contender. So let me cook up on this real quick. So, Kid Austin, let's get this understood. We ain't forget about the fight that you had. Not your. I don't know if it was your last fight or the fight before, where you got dropped by nobody. Like this guy, we don't even know this guy. Ain't heard of the guy. Ain't seen the guy. None of that shit. But we seen you get dropped by nobody, bro. So you can't talk about Abdullah Mason getting dropped. We seen Abdullah Mason get dropped a couple times, and he got back up and he stopped his op. You didn't even stop your op. You won by decision. And a lot of people felt that fight that you probably shouldn't even won by decision for real, for real. You know what I mean? So Kid Austin can't speak on Abdullah Mason performances because since that fight where Abdullah Mason got dropped, he done stopped that same dude that he got dropped by. Then he done went back and dropped and stopped two guys, two, three guys after that. And he about to fight again in a couple of months. You know what I mean? So like Kid Austin talk about Abdullah's a prospect and he's a contender. Bro, you ain't doing shit right now. You got your father typing and on interviews and stuff talking for you, just like Devin Haney. You don't have a mouthpiece. Now you get a mouthpiece and stuff, and you able to talk and you get to saying some dumbass shit. Just like Devin Haney. This is just a stupid ass statement talking about Abdullah's a prospect and he a contender. Well shit, you had a chance to fight Shakur Stevenson a couple months ago and y'all pump fake. Y'all niggas was pump faking the whole time. I don't believe nothing the Schofields have to say. And I said this the other day on the show, and I'm standing on it. I don't believe nothing they say. They've put that position down to where I don't believe nothing they say. For him to say Abdullah Mason's a prospect and he contender, well, Abdullah Mason's the A side in the situation between you two guys. They're the ones that's going to send you an offer. Your father's on the internet talking about Y'all need 2.5 million. Y'all to outprice yourself. Top Rank ain't about to pay y'all no damn 2.5 million to fight Abdullah Mason. Abdullah Mason got hella other options he could take at 135. We just trying to knock y'all off. Y'all ain't on shit. So a lot of cat, man, more cat from the Schofields over there talking about Abdullah Mason a prospect and they a contender. Shit, y'all ain't moving like no contenders. Y'all don't want no fights for real. Y'all had a chance for a title fight in Shakur Stevenson and y'all ducked it while y'all was in Saudi Arabia a couple days before the fight even happened. So miss me with the bullshit, Kid Austin. Don't want to hear that bullshit, bro. Like, we is not jacking that shit over there, bro. Like, y'all niggas, anything that the Schofield say over there, we ain't jacking it and we ain't believing it. We not. Not 100%, man. For real, dead ass. Like, I'm standing on that shit, for real. And of course, next week, big fight next week with Chris Eubank Jr. versus Conor Benn next Saturday, April 26th in London, man. This is another Fatal Fury card, a Fatal Fury first Fatal Fury card for Ring Magazine on up in London. So decent card right here. I'm excited to see this fight because there's a lot of blood, blood boiling for these two guys, man. Of course, Chris Eubank Jr. was salty about Conor being testing bad for PDs on a fight that they had scheduled in the past and stuff. So on the build up for this fight's been crazy. A lot of crazy back and forth. Of course, the first little press conference they had, the man Chris Eubank Jr. then smashed the egg on Conor Benn's um on his face and shit. He even slapped him with an egg and shit. Like, so, bro, like it's been a crazy build up. And you got Chris Eubank Jr. and Senior. They going back and forth. Senior saying that Junior don't listen and he ain't gonna be in this corner and stuff. And you got that dynamic and shit. So then you got the dynamic of Senior Chris Eubank Senior fought Nigel Benn, Conor Benn's father back in the past. So so they got a lot of family ties in this fight for sure, man. So interesting fight. Only thing about it is Ben is moving up from 147 to 160, so he's moving up a couple weight classes to fight Eubank Jr. So I mean, I don't know how that's going to bode well. I don't think it's going to bode well too. Just like I said about Bud Crawford fighting Canelo, moving up to 168. I just don't see it. You know what I mean? Don't see it for real. You know what I mean? Um, Interesting fight though. You know what I'm saying? Interesting fight. I will be watching this fight and covering this fight this next week, and it's fight week for that. So definitely wanted to announce that fight for next Saturday for sure. We will be covering this fight, and we will be, you know a little closely, paying attention to what they got going because there's some real bad blood in this fight for sure. Um, and other news, real quick. All right, so let me get to. All right, so they just um, Ring Magazine they dropped some content with the guys that's on the Times Square Fatal Fury card. Ryan Garcia versus Rolly Romero, Devin Haney versus Jose Ramirez, and Teofimo Lopez versus Arnold Barbosa. And this round table was crazy, bro. It was crazy, man. Um, Tio, he was in there making excuses about the Lomachenko fight. Um, for the most part, a lot of the guys was respectful to each other. I will say that. But it did get a little chippy with Teofimo and Devin. Teofimo was going at Devin, and Devin was trying to tell him to shut up. And Devin, Tio, he wouldn't shut up. And then Ryan and Devin went back and forth a little bit. Ryan again, and like this round table episode was recorded around the time when they had the LA press conference or the two the press conference week that they had, the two press conferences. So it was from that week. And daggone no, Ryan Garcia asked him the same question again, like, no, how did your brother know about me, testing, positive and stuff? And then, Devin said that it was in his dream. He didn't know, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I'm saying? And Ryan just kept pressing him, and, this man, Devin said something to T.O. like, you in here making excuses about T.O. and about Lomachenko. You making excuses about Campos is beating you and stuff, and then the motherfucker T.O. was like, shit, you can't talk about ass whooping shit. The man to my left right here is sitting next to Ryan Garcia. He beat your ass and like, so it was just a little crazy. That was good content right there. And the crazy part, I don't even know why they held up on this. I think it was about like 25 minutes. I don't even know why they held up on that content. Like they could have just dropped that. That was like that content, that roundtable conversation that they had amongst the guys on the May 2nd card. That shit was more intriguing than the actual press conference for real. To be honest, I mean the NY press conference was mid. The LA press conference was a little bit lit though, because it was a little bit back and forth from some of the guys, mainly Ryan Garcia and Devin. But this roundtable shit was kind of lit though. I fucked with it for sure, man. And you had Jose Ramirez. He was feeling slighted about Devin Haney, looking past them for the Ryan Garcia fight, as long as Arnold Barbosa and Rolly Romero was just up there just chilling for real. He just chilling, just letting them talk, just letting them do their thing. We usually would have thought Rolly Romero would have had to give the gab and kind of pop his shit a little bit, you know what I'm saying? But he ain't really popping his shit this much leading up to the build up for this fight, you know what I mean? So interesting for sure, man. These guys definitely gonna be fighting May 2nd. The fight will be in a couple of weeks. And I don't know how this shit gonna look, man. It's gonna be a top square. I don't know how this shit gonna be looking. We'll see what happens, bro. But I think it's gonna be some insane shit happening for this card, bro. For us, just Times Square, first of boxing event there. Like, I don't know what's gonna happen. The unimaginable is gonna happen for this fight. I don't know what's gonna happen, but I'm expecting some wild shit to happen. I don't know. I just got a crazy feeling some wild shit is gonna happen on May 2nd for us that particular fight card as well, man. And it brings me on to my main topic of the show. And let me start this off real quick. Let me start this part off of the show by saying today is the 1 year anniversary. Let me get this back going because this was the main topic. 1 year anniversary of Devin Haney getting his ass whooped, getting belt to ass, getting smoked like a Philly by Ryan Garcia today, man. So I said, gotta smoke some in honor of today for the Haney fans. I know the Haney fans, y'all gonna be mad at this shit. I gotta make sure I clip this shit up right away, and I gotta drop this because I want y'all to see this immediately, though. But today is the 1 year anniversary of Ryan Garcia taxing fucking Devin Haney ass last year. No Diddy. And in honor of that, man, um, we're gonna react to Devin Haney's Cigar Talk interview that he had with my boy Najee, man. Najee doing great work on the content over there, man. And we just gonna do a quick reaction to that. And I just wrote some notes on some stuff that Devin Haney mentioned in the interview. Decent interview. Was Devin Haney capping in the interview at points? Of course. So of course we had to write down some of the lies and contradictions, and we had to sit there and had to cook up on this shit, bro. So um all right, so just to start off on the interview, um, Najee from Cigar Talk, he asked him about fatherhood, how like basically asking him how does how fatherhood, how's fatherhood treating you, and Devin Haney said that fatherhood has made him better, and he also mentioned that Devin Haney, made his child the day after the Ryan Garcia fight. So he said like the night that he made his child was the night after Ryan Garcia beat his ass, which was 4/21, 2024. You know what I'm saying? But like I said before, today's the 1 year anniversary. Uh, Ryan whooping that ass on 420. So we'll never forget that day. So we'll never forget that day. You know what I'm saying? Because even though it's a no contest on record, we got the footage. We seen the footage. We seen it live. We seen flesh on the canvas that night on 420 in the Barclays Center in Brooklyn, New York. You know what I mean? But yeah, Devin Haney went on to say that he had his child immediately after Ryan Garcia fight. And then not he spoke and says that the fight with Jose Ramirez is Jose Ramirez's last chance. And he says that, I respect Jose Ramirez. I think that he's a great fighter. And, I think, I chose him because he's a, former champion. And, which is bullshit. Y'all chose him because y'all did y'all regular Devin Haney plan that y'all always do. Pick a guy that's, in their 30s, you know what I'm saying? Probably on the last leg of their career. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? That y'all, and then shit, we just seen Bill the other day in the Cigar Talk interview. He didn't want to say that we picked Jose Ramirez because of him being a relentless pressure fighter and him having a good left hook so they can get ready for the Ryan fight. So um that's that little statement from Devin talking about, they picked him because he was a former champ. All that shit is bullshit. You know what I'm saying? Because then he went on to say that he was going to step on Jose Ramirez. He mentioned it 3, 4 times in this little particular part of this interview where he said that he was going to step on Jose Ramirez. That's what he was saying. You feel me? And we will see. We will see. I ain't gonna say anything negative about it or whatsoever. I'm just gonna say that we will see. I want Devin Haney to stand on your words. Just like Shakur Stevenson said that he gonna put belt the ass on Williams Zepeda. I want Devin Haney to stand on his words. Since he said he gonna step on Jose Ramirez, I expect to see him step on him. And I'm glad that this is recorded because I want this shit to be recorded for sure. You know what I'm saying? For these type of purposes. You know what I'm saying? Devin Haney said he gonna step on Ramirez. I want to see him step on him, flat out, nothing else. You know what I mean? And then he goes on to mention he goes on to mention that his main focus right now is beating Jose Ramirez and getting to that Ryan Garcia fight. And he talks about cutting people off in his circle because you remember Eddie Hearn had the interview with Andre Ward and he was talking about the locker room with Devin Haney for the Ryan Garcia fight and said that it was a shitload of people in there, people that he never seen before. You know what I'm saying in his locker room, and Devin Haney mentions it in this interview, particular saying that he had to cut off a lot of people. A lot of people was a lot of people left him and left him for dead. After losing the Ryan Garcia fight, so he had to learn to cut some people off from that. And then he talks about like the negativity, like handling negativity, like far as like the fans, the media when they speak on his name and talk negative about his name. And he says that he don't pay attention to those guys or give them no shine or any look or anything, which is cap. Because dude, you literally, Bad Baby mentions your name in the song and you literally went out of your way to find the DM that y'all had, whatever. If it's real, because it may be fucking Photoshop for all I fucking care. You know what I'm saying? In reality, because we know Devin Haney and them, they be doing some fraud shit all the time. So the motherfucker gonna pull out a screenshot talking about Bad Baby was trying to shoot her shot and text her number to him and shit like that. He doing shit like that. know what I'm saying? You got emotional about her mentioning you in the song. And then, shit, Gabe Rosado, you going back and forth with Gabe Rosado and shit. You going back and forth with Rampage Jackson and shit. Like, bro, y'all can't tell me y'all handle negativity well. Because every time somebody say something about y'all, the Haneys that is, y'all always respond. Y'all respond whether it's a tweet, whether it's an Instagram post or story, or y'all going on the interview. Well, it won't be Devin Haney. It'll be Bill Haney most likely going in an interview, basically defending his son at all costs. You know what I'm saying? So all of that shit for saying that they handle negativity right, cap, contradiction and lie, caught and cooked up already. So and then he goes on to speaks on how they came up in boxing for us, like they did it their way for us, how they were in Mexico paying to get fights in Mexico, and not being um on a major platform or having a major promoter um promote his brand or his name and everything coming up, and speaks about growing up in the Floyd Mayweather gym, and Mayweather being his idol and everything. And I want to call cap on it too, because this is my thing. I understand the way they came up, but the thing is, they make it seem like their path to get to championship level was like all done on their own behalf. Like they didn't work with no promoters. DHP was independent this whole entire time. They did their thing on their own, and that was it. That's cap, bro. Y'all was with Eddie Hearn. Then y'all wanted to become undisputed. Y'all had to go over there and take a 3-fight deal on Top Rank. Then y'all became a free agent for Top Rank. Y'all go back to Eddie Hearn on a fight the fight deal. You know what I'm saying? And now we here where y'all had to kiss the ring for Turkey just to get on the fight, because y'all was just about to fight on BLK Prime. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Like they try to make it seem like they done, like they've promoted events and put on events and stuff. Devin Haney Promotions has not thrown no event of their own. They have not. I mean that DHP is nothing but a tax write off. Yeah, they got some fighters, but we don't see Devin Haney literally doing his own events, and he had opportunities to do so within this past year. You know what I mean? He could have put a purse bid for his own fight. You know what I'm saying? When it came down to the purse bid with him and Sandor Martin, he didn't want to bid for it because he wanted another promoter to, pay and put the money up for the fight. You know what I mean? and, and and this brings me up to this part of the interview right here, where they Najee from Cigar Talk asks Devin, how did you and Turkey, how y'all connect, whatever. And Devin Haney goes on and says that he hit up Turkey himself. He called Turkey himself and asked if he can come have a meeting with him. Around that week, around that weekend, I mean around that week, whatever, they ended up having the media workout out there and in London, and then he went to meet up with Turkey. But remember, around that time, it was talks that Devin was about to fight on BLK Prime. BLK Prime came out on their socials and everything and mentioned that it was going down, that they was working with Devin Haney and they had something in the works for May. And Devin and Bill didn't like that situation because they was about to be making pennies over there, because BLK Prime ain't got no money over there. And they had the big Turkey, please. I'm about to fight on BLK Prime. Please, just put me on a card. Put me on a card, please, Turkey. Please. I just had to sell my home. I just had a baby with this girl that's a sex worker. I need more money. I need to fight, Turkey. Please put me on the Ring magazine. Please put me on the Riyadh season card, Turkey. Please. That's what Devin and them had to do. They begged Turkey to get put on the card. And Turkey offered him on the spot. And they said the first offer that Turkey offered them, they took the offer. So you know what I'm saying? They said Devin Haney said Turkey gave them an offer on the first offer that they couldn't refuse. And obviously the offer was to fight Jose Ramirez and fight the rematch with Ryan Garcia. And he goes on it goes on to speak about this whole rematch where he was saying that they dropped the lawsuit. Like he said, like the whole thing was Ryan said that we had to drop the lawsuit for the rematch, saying that he was basically insinuating that they made a notion that they were trying to make the fight and Ryan wasn't trying to make the fight, saying that Ryan and them didn't really want the fight for real, which is cap. Like I said before, Devin, how that fight went last year, a year ago, because today is the 1 year anniversary. They have no reason to be scared of you, dude. No reason to be scared of you. He beat your ass. He mopped the floor with you. And that wasn't even 100% Ryan Garcia. And we all seen that. Millions and millions and millions of people seen you get your ass whooped. They seen it. Nobody has no thoughts of Ryan Garcia being scared of you to have a rematch with you. Shit, to me, it looked like Ryan wants to run through Rollies very bad so he can beat your ass and show the world that that PED shit was cat. That's how it looks to me. So all of this talk with Bill and Devin continuing to say that Ryan Garcia didn't want this rematch is cap as fuck. Ryan's the one that told y'all that y'all had to drop the lawsuit to get the rematch, and that's what y'all exactly did. Y'all dropped the lawsuit. Y'all went against y'all integrity and morals because y'all talking about y'all standing up for boxing and stuff. And then he goes on in his interview talking about him doing 365-day testing and shit, which is shout out to manager Marty, man. He the one that killed that narrative that the 365 testing with Vada is cap. Margaret Goodman is on record herself saying that they don't do 365 testing. So we literally just listening to Devin Haney and Bill Haney and these cameras lying, saying that they're doing 365, 24/7 testing through VADA. We're literally just listening to them cap because this shit is cap as fuck for real. Like it's cap. And he and Devin's talk about setting the standard for PDs and stuff like that. You're not setting the standards by dropping the lawsuit. Just saying, the whole standard of you making the lawsuit on Bill Haney was because of the fact that y'all was trying to make a stance for boxing and stuff. You know what I'm saying? For us PDs and everything. If that was y'all stance and then y'all was trying to stand on big business, y'all would have never dropped the lawsuit. Y'all dropped the lawsuit. So, like I said before, Gabe Rosado, what he said was 100% truth. Y'all some hoes for the money. Shit. Bill think he a pimp, but Bill, he ain't nothing but a hoe for the money as well. Just saying in general, bro. Like, you know what I'm saying? These motherfuckers is crazy, bro. You know what I'm saying? And then Devin Haney mentions talk about one he said 147 pounds is his max weight, he thinks. He said, in order to get some of the bigger fights that he wants and stuff, he may mess around and go back down to 140 and stuff. He's still on weight bully timing. Devin Haney walks around at a high clip of, you know what I'm saying, without camps or fights. We seen how Devin Haney looked after the Ryan fight. That boy was big as hell. That boy was definitely like 200 pounds for sure. Like if you look at him and look how his face filled up in the ESPN interview that he had after Ryan popped, bro, that boy looked big as hell out there, dog. For real. Like, and this man's talking about his max weight is 147 when we know this guy probably His max weight probably should be 154, 160 or something. This man, Devin Haney and Bill Haney, they still want to fight smaller guys, bro, and try to dominate smaller guys, bro. That's why I said that whole Ryan Garcia shit a year ago, it caught up on him because you fought a guy that was about the same height as you, probably a little bit taller, faster than you, same age and everything. And you got spanked. You got spanked. You ain't fighting no 30-year-old like you was doing with all them other guys in the past. You thought Ryan Garcia was gonna be sweet. I thought that was gonna be a cherry pick, like Bill was trying to say the other day, talking about Lamont Roach was a cherry pick for Tank Davis that went wrong. No, Ryan Garcia was a cherry pick that went wrong on y'all end because y'all thought y'all was gonna spank Ryan Garcia like Tank did, and that shit went the total opposite direction for y'all. But I will say this: Devin Haney did take accountability for us the Ryan Garcia fight, though, in this particular interview, and I like that. I do got to commend him and salute Devin Haney for this. And when he asked him about the fight and stuff, Devin's like, I don't really want to talk about the fight because we already kind of locked the possibly fight in a rematch. And AW win for sure. Yeah, Big Haney packed today, 1 year anniversary all day. You heard. All day, man, for sure. Salutations, my dog. Hey, man, subscribe to AWM Boxing Podcast, Angry White Man Podcast. Great content every day, man. And happy Easter to everyone as well. I ain't meant to mention that as well. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, man. Um, Devin Haney, he was basically saying that their max weight for him is 147, and saying that Ryan Garcia that they want that fight, that Ryan Garcia fight. That's his main focus. That is to get past Ramirez and get the fight with Ryan Garcia. And I had to mention that. Najee asked him about being attached, to Ryan Garcia throughout his whole career as well. And Ryan Garcia, like Devin Haney said, yeah, we're going to be attached, to each other. Or no, we've been attached since we were kids, and now we are as pros and stuff. And bro, like I said, say Devin Haney wins this fight with Ryan Garcia. If they they win these two fights in May 2nd, and then they fight the rematch, and Devin Haney wins the rematch, they're already allegedly locked for the third too. They got a trilogy set. So they're set for two fights. You know what I mean? So we may get a trilogy out of this shit. And honestly, bro, for real, man, I like that we may get a trilogy out of these two. But these guys are going to be forever attached to each other. When it's so funny because a lot of the Devin Haney fans try to attach Devin Haney to Tank Davis throughout his whole career coming up. And now can't even attach your name to Tank Davis anymore because Tank Davis beat a dude that beat your ass. You know what I'm saying? Dondrick was good. Salute my dog. I gotta get my boy Dondrick together. Hey, let me write my boy. He said Ryan Garcia not playing with these dudes, bro. He about to have fun through Rolly, Devin, then Tio. He beats those guys, and we gotta puff some to put some respect on his name. Facts, bro. Facts, bro. Like for real, man. Ryan Garcia right now, from what I've seen from Ryan Garcia, he looks 100% extremely focused. He looks focused. Like this is the Ryan Garcia that I want to see. You know what I'm saying? Like this is the Ryan Garcia that I wanted to see in the run leading up for the Devin fight. You know what I mean? Like this is a dangerous Ryan Garcia. Like you seen that power and that speed behind his shots in that media workout the other day, bro. That boy look game. Rolly, man, Rolly media workout ain't look all crazy to be for real, man. I ain't gonna lie. It ain't look crazy to be for real, dog. You know what I'm saying? Rolly got power, but he just don't have the IQ or the defense to beat Ryan Garcia, in my opinion. I think Ryan Garcia definitely gonna stop this guy for sure. He gonna stop Rolly, I believe. But I think it's gonna be a banger of a fight, while it lasts. I think he gonna fight. Rolly ain't no bitch. He gonna fight you. He ain't no bitch. You know what I'm saying? But oh yeah, so I had to mention this too. Devin Haney, he took shots at Tank Davis in the interview, saying that Tank Davis gets emotional when he mentions his name, and it goes back to me saying what I said earlier in this particular segment of the show right here. Devin Haney, every time somebody mention your name on Twitter, Instagram, whatever platform, social it is, y'all always respond to them. Tank don't be responding to these guys. You know what I'm saying? Tank, when people slander Tank name and be going crazy, Tank don't respond to each and every guy on Twitter and all of this shit. You feel me? You know what I'm saying? We be seeing the Haneys do that shit. We see Shakur Stevenson do it. You know what I'm saying? Like a lot of these guys literally be responding to fans, responding to any and everybody on social media. Wow, Tank is just sitting there getting ready for the rematch. He prepping, getting worked up for the rematch. He ain't on the internet tweeting and reacting to each and everybody that's that at him on the internet. We see that from Devin Haney. So him saying that, talk about Tank get emotional when people mention his name. No, Tank be getting pissed off because y'all guys continue to attach y'all names to his name. Y'all continue to clout chase off of his name. And y'all ain't sending no fucking check. Yeah, y'all making money off of Tank name, but y'all ain't sending him no money for it. That's why Tank's mad. That's why he be mad at y'all dudes. Cause y'all and Devin Haney, you're the biggest one of them all. You're the first one that started attaching your name to Tank Davis and cloud chasing off his name. Big time. So for you to sit there and be like, man, Tank get emotional when somebody mentions his name. Nah, bro, that'd be you. That'd be you. You be getting emotional because you respond to any and everybody. Like, Bad Baby shouldn't even got a fucking response. She irrelevant to even respond to it. You didn't respond to the daggone little girl. Like, that's why I said, bro. And this interview, this was a good interview from Najee overall. Najee, he know what he be doing, bro. You know what I'm saying? Najee, hey, like you said, Dodrick, he bring up Tank every time that anybody he interviewing, bro. That boy Najee know he gotta have Tank in that algorithm, man. You know he gonna get the clipping that shit up and dropping that shit ASAP. Like you see what IJ Ward did in the Lamar Roach Jr. interview. Them motherfuckers, they was clipping up multiple clips and videos for that from that daggone Lamont Roach interview. Like they got damn near 20 plus. They clipped up damn near the whole interview. It's damn near 20 plus videos from that damn interview out damn there. Like damn, y'all just said fuck dropping it. Shit, we clipping up the whole interview. Like, great, it's nasty work. D1 was good. 2 cents was good. Salute 2 cents. Hey, subscribe to 2 cents boxing, man. Great boxing content over there, man. That's family over there. That's family. That's all family over there for sure. You said D1 said Najee's supposed to do that though. Yeah, for sure. Najee just doing his job. He just doing his job, man. You know what I'm saying? I don't take it personal for us that shit, but he got a way of doing that shit where like I be seeing, I'm like, man, Najee, man, he a slick motherfucker. I like Najee, man. Me and Najee interact a little bit on Twitter and stuff from time to time and shit. He do great work though, for sure. You know what I'm saying? 2 cents said that's why Tank stop fucking with Najee. Facts. Yeah, because Najee be trying to play in the middle of that shit. He didn't try to play mutual and play cordial in that shit the right way because he got into it specifically with Tank over the Bud interview. You remember, like, the interview dropped with him and Bud, and then the first clip Najee dropped was the clip of Bud mentioning Tank name, talking about Tank, and then the main title of that specific interview was Tank name in the title for a Bud Crawford interview, and these motherfuckers ain't even in the same weight class to fight each other. You know what I'm saying? So Tank took offensive of that shit, where he like, damn, you letting this man, like, you asked this man a question about me, and then he get to talking about me, and then you ain't correct him on what he said when he clearly lied about Jose Pedraza, talking about the talking point that he got from Keyshawn Davis, basically saying that Tank fought a weight drain Jose Pedraza. Like Najee was supposed to check him in that instance for real because everybody know that was cat, but Najee didn't correct them, so a lot of people felt the way about that shit. And I Tank, he seen that shit and he felt the way about it. He already felt the way about the whole interview, damn near being based off of Tank name. On top of that, him asking questions about Tank and stuff like that, and then that shit come up for us. The weight draining of Pedraza being talked about from Bud Crawford. It's nasty work, bro. It's real nasty work because that was a pure lie, and Najee didn't cover that lie. He didn't fucking correct that shit. You know what I mean? So that doesn't make somebody feel some type of way. And that pushed Tank the wrong way a little bit. That particular interview definitely pushed Tank the wrong way for sure with Najee, to where he said, fuck Najee. Najee ain't getting no more interviews. Which is, I was like, Najee, you got to know how to work your hand because for one, every interview you do, you mention Tank with whoever you're talking to. And you done got an interview from Tank before. If you want to work with Tank, you need to keep this shit cordial and mutual as possible. You know what I'm saying? You be looking like you be on the other side over there fucking with Shakur and them and shit. And Tank see that shit, so he like, shit, bro, I'm about to cut dude off. I ain't fucking with dude. He ain't getting no more interviews from me. He on some corny shit. He over there cloud chasing off my name too. You know what I'm saying? That's how Tank feel. You know what I mean? Najee got to be the one to correct that shit. You know what I'm saying? I hope they get that shit together because I think Najee does great interviews. He does great work. And he knows what he's doing. Najee know what he do. He know what he do. We all, especially us content creators, we know how to like make certain titles to get people attention and stuff. You know what I'm saying? The watchers and shit like that. You know what I'm saying? And Najee know how to work that very well. You know what I mean? So he knows what he's doing. But I don't. What is it a bad? It ain't no bad cloud chasing on Najee. Najee's is doing what a lot of other content creators would do in the same sense. You know what I'm saying? But he gotta know how to straddle the fence for us, being mutual amongst all of the fighters. You know what I'm saying? Because you're gonna get one of these fighters that feel a certain way on how you doing content in a sense, you know what I'm saying? You're gonna get that from a lot of people at times. You know what I'm saying? It's just a part of the game. You know what I'm saying? It's just the bad part is you in bad odds with the biggest, in boxing with Tank Davis. That's just the only, jacked up part about it. You know what I mean? Keish, Two says only for Keyshawn to fight a weight drain Pedraza. Exactly. Exactly. Move. Keyshawn literally moved Pedraza down from 140 to 135 to fight him. But these guys, they act like that shit never happened. They act like it never exists. You know what I'm saying? They just want to talk about the cap with Tank fighting Pedraza at far as him being weight drained in that fight was Tank's first title fight. Like that was his first fucking title fight, dude. Like, you know what I'm saying? They both fought at 130 and didn't have no rehydration clauses or anything. Like, you know what I mean? So that's why I say these boxing fans, bro, they get history so twisted with a lot of shit. Like they try to make up their own lies and really run with that shit. Like, and think that's that word is bond. Like that shit ain't bond. That shit cap over there, man. That word ain't fucking bond over there, man. A lot of these dudes just be up there just talking and capping for no fucking reason. Like, no reason at all. Like, no reason. You know what I mean? But we smoking big Haney pack today. Big Haney pack. Big Haney pack. 1 year anniversary, man. And they said the fight is in October for us the rematch, man. So hopefully Haney and Ryan they get past they next ops and we can get this rematch. They need to make that rematch and bring it to the States though, bro. That rematch should not be in Saudi Arabia, bro. Like this is my thing. Turkey's like kind of like it's seeming to me like Turkey's kind of on some shit where he wants to make a little like he like I don't want to lose that much millions of dollars, but I lose this amount of $1 million. I'm still willing to lose, but I don't want to lose 10, 20, 50 plus million. Just leave me a couple million is cool. But I'm just saying, Turkey, you have a chance to possibly make some fucking money off that fight, and you're paying for that fight. Fucking put the fight in the States, bro, and you can probably make some fucking money. The rematch should make a shitload of money for us. The gate should go crazy, especially if they do it in Vegas or in Cali. Had that fight on the West Coast. Both of those guys being West Coast guys, which is that's the most reasonable thing to do. Put those guys in Vegas to fight the rematch. You'll do a crazy gate. Pay-per-view will probably be crazy too, because a lot of people want to see this rematch. A lot of people want to see it, so they may do some good numbers on the rematch number on pay-per-views as well. So it would make perfect sense for them to have the fight in the States. Why send this fight over there in Saudi Arabia where nobody give a fuck about boxing over there for real? Like them people don't even be watching the fights for real. Shit, I done seen Turkey on his phone while Shakur Stevenson was fighting. You know what I'm saying? The motherfuckers don't even be watching the fights for real when they be there. So that's the reason why I don't care for like why we had these fights over there. Like nobody like right now they got the fucking WBC boxing Grand Prix on in Saudi Arabia right now, and they're saying that it's 2,000 people live watching that shit right now. Bro, you really think it's 2,000 people watching these no name ass fights that nobody know these motherfuckers? Like, come on. Like, make this make sense. Like, I know it's some bots on this channel right now probably watching these daggone Grand Prix fights right now. Like, nobody's watching. Ain't no fucking 2,000 watching live, no name fighters on Ring Magazine YouTube channel or Turkey Al Sheikh's YouTube channel, bro. Stop the cap. Like, these guys got to stop it. It ain't nobody over there in Saudi Arabia to watch these guys. So Ryan Garcia and Devin Haney should be a fight that should be in the States. The first fight was originally in the States, right? So why can't the rematch be in the States as well? Like Turkey has a chance to make some money on this fight right here. You have a chance to make some money, Turkey. You put the fight in the States, you can probably make some money, maybe. 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 Even though we know Devin Haney ain't no fucking draw. We know Ryan Garcia is more of a draw than Devin, even though he ain't, he's, you know what I'm saying? Ryan Garcia is more of a draw than Devin, obviously. He's the A side in the fight. But they have an opportunity to make some money if that fight's in the States, man. Facts D1, nobody over there. Nobody cares about boxing in Saudi Arabia for real, bro. Like I don't even know what they care about. I think it feel like they care about shit trying to catch somebody smoking some weed or some shit more than any damn thing, or you going crazy on them, they ready to lock your ass up and shit. Like, bro, that shit in Saudi Arabia crazy, dog. Like, I don't want to see I don't care for my American fighters fighting over there. That's just me being realistic. I don't care for my American fighters fighting over there in Saudi Arabia. It serves no purpose. Niggas is getting sick over there. You got Turkey fixing fights over there. He paying motherfuckers in cryptocurrency and shit. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's a lot of wicked shit going on, bro. A lot of wicked shit going on over there. Like, I don't want my American guys going over there to fight over there. That's my personal opinion. Other people may feel a different way, but just me personally, I feel like I want the American guys to stay over here. In this particular fight with Ryan Garcia and Devin Haney, this fight should be in the States and they should have it in Vegas. Have that fight in Vegas, man, in the West Coast. They'd do crazy numbers. They do some good numbers, man. They do some good numbers. Because this shit in Times Square May 2nd, this shit about it already flopped. Shit, they don't got no gate. They ain't selling no tickets, so they don't have no gate. Eddie Hearn already said they do to make they do to lose over $10 million already without no gate. So they already in the red. Like, and then you think about the Canelo scorecard in Saudi Arabia, undercard, lackluster, another flop incoming, along with the bundle pay-per-view prices. You know what I'm saying? Well, you got $60 for each fight, but then what, 90 if you pay for both? I don't know how that shit work. You know the zone, they should be fucked up for us charging your card and shit. So be careful. But I'm just saying in general, man. Like This whole May, this Cinco de Mayo weekend for Turkey Al Sheik gonna be a lot of lost money. Lot of lost money that weekend, man. A lot of lost money. We gonna see. We got it coming, man. Remember, we got Chris Eubank Jr. and versus Connor Ben next week as well. Next Saturday. And that's a Ring Magazine card. That's the first Ring Magazine card that they doing in London. So we'll see what happens, man. But man, I'm about to get up out of here, man. Let me get ready for this beautiful Easter day, man. Hope everybody have a blessed day today. Happy Easter to everyone, man. Everyone enjoy your day with your family, man. Show love. You know what I'm saying? Stay positive. You know what I'm saying? Eliminate and negate all negativity coming your way. You know what I mean? No, keep the man above first at all times. You know what I'm saying? Never lose your faith. Always trust in him. No, because he's gonna make a way out of no way in your life in any circumstance for sure. I'm a living testament of it myself for sure. And no, like I said, happy Easter to everyone. Everyone be safe out there. Have a blessed day. Enjoy your day today for sure. Hey, and by the way, smoke that Devin Haney pack, man. Today is the 1 year anniversary of Brian Garcia taxing that ass last year on Devin Haney. You feel me? So we are smoking Devin Haney pack all day. You feel me? You know what I'm saying? Sorry, but not sorry. Boxers Talk. We out of here, man. Salute to everybody, man. Have a blessed one.